Hello and welcome to Creative Strategies with Ashley Raetz. I am Ashley and today we are going to be doing a review with the 0 names left for Etsy. This was something that I posted over in our group, the Creative Business Entrepreneur, for people to be able to post their shops, their Facebook pages, their Amazon Handmade, and allow me to be able to do some teaching on critiques on, wherever it is that they need me. So for today, we are going to do an Etsy critique for Robin Bellamy and 0 names left. So we're just going to click over to her page and get started. So I have not looked at this page for a simple reason, because I want to make sure that I am coming in here and looking at her branding, at her pictures, without having any skewed type of, opinion of what it is that she sells. So without looking at anything on this page, I am looking at the name here, which is intriguing to me. I'm not exactly for sure what that portrays or what this is supposed to mean, but 0 names left is the name of this shop. And then I see her tagline here, raising old and making it new. So by looking at this, with it being white and her branding here, I'm assuming that, without looking at anything in her shop, that she is possibly making furniture or signs, shelves, home decor of some sort. And just by looking at this, without going, scrolling down to her shop, that is what I am assuming that this is. So this is all a part of our branding whenever you come in here, what our banner is. So this part needs to tell us what it is that our business shares. I personally don't like to see product pictures up here because we have that down below in our Etsy store. So this definitely needs to be about branding, and it relay what it is that you want your customers to know that it is that you sell. So I really like your tagline here, raising old and making it new. So we have here rustic home, wedding, and special events decor. So by reading this, I just want to let you guys know that this here is actually really important, and we want to be able to use keywords here. So rustic home, you probably need to have decor or signs, rustic home and wedding decor, rustic home decor, wedding decor, whatever it is, you want to be able to utilize this area down here for sure, because these here will show up in our Google searches. So you want to make sure that underneath in this little area right here that you're utilizing this for keywords, because that will show up for Google. Okay, and then it shows here that you have 5-star rating. You have a lot of reviews, so that's good, because Etsy likes to rank us on reviews. So that's really good that you have that. And now we're going to scroll. Okay, so this is not portraying what it is that you are selling. So we've got wedding favor tags, which to me does not portray rustic. I see more vintage in that, and you've got vintage here for sure. So we need to be able to change this, because it looks like to me you don't have a whole lot of rustic decor other than this sign right here. So what your banner is showing and what it is actually that you're selling does not relate at all. Okay, so this definitely needs to portray what it is that you are wanting to sell. So it looks like you have your announcements in here. You're telling everybody that it's a 1-week lead time. And then you're saying again, rustic home decor, and then personalized gifts. Are you offering anything personalized? I guess this here, are they providing this photo to you to put in there, or is that something that you're just showing that they can do? Because if that's the case, then you're really not personalizing this, if that makes sense. I think these are really cool and definitely goes with vintage. So we'll kind of get into your titles here in just a little bit. So I'm getting a really mixed message here. Your Etsy store honestly is a little bit all over the place. So we've got some beaded garland, we've got tags, we've got banners, we have some wreaths. I'm not seeing a whole lot of items that are reusing old and making it new again. Whenever I go to look at this, like these beads here don't look like they're old to me, so I don't know if you're using old lace. People might be turned off by that. I'm not for sure. So let's just go on ahead and go back here. And first of all, let's go on ahead and talk about your sections that you have here. You have these all in a line, so you've got them all correctly put in and organized well. It's really easy for the eye, right? So if you don't have that, you want to make sure that your shortest title and then the next shortest and the next, just because as people have tired eyes and they're on the internet, this is really easy for people to see. I see that you have 22 items. I can't say for certain if Etsy puts a lot of weight with how many items you have. However, as a customer, it looks kind of nice if you have to go to another page. Like there's just not much to look here. So if you are not automatically grabbing them whenever they come onto your page, there's just not much to look at here. And honestly, everything is all over the place. We've got tags, we've got wreaths, we have banners, we've got like I kind of feel like your tags and your wedding items and possibly even your wreath, like that all goes together. But then we get up here, I'm just not feeling a very cohesive look to your Etsy store. I feel like it at this point with the way that your pictures look, they are all over the place, and we're going to kind of go into that in more detail. But for those of you all that might not know, if you have wedding decor and it's more like what I assume, I'm even trying to see, I guess this here is your wedding decor here. To me, this shows vintage. Like, who is your target market that you are trying to portray with your items right now? Are you trying to do weddings? Are you trying to do home decor? Like, who is your target market? So when they come to this landing page, who is it that you are wanting to attract? Are we doing weddings? Are we doing home decor? Are we doing farmhouse? I noticed, let's see. Yeah, I noticed farmhouse here whenever I was scrolling. So farmhouse and boho, those two things honestly really don't go together. So whenever you're doing your Etsy store, you need to make sure that at least your pictures are being cohesive with each other, that your target market's not confused whenever they come to your page. So right now, if I'm just scrolling around and I'm not doing a critique on you, I'm going to come here and I'm going to think, oh, this person probably makes furniture and they do signs and shelves and farmhousey because this is all chipped and it's white. So I'm thinking Magnolia and, Joanna Gaines. And then I get down here and I don't have the same feeling at all. So these here, you've done a good job, but you might want to be a little bit more in detail. So like your wood sign, you're only showing one. That's not very appealing to your customer. Your wedding decor, are you going to be adding more things? Do you need to separate that out or even put more sections? So like I think this here, your favorite, let's even see what's in your wedding decor. So you only have these two here, but I think you could also even add in your hearts because you have heart favor tags. So maybe wedding favors you could add with that. Does that make sense to you? So we need to be a lot more cohesive because we go from vintage all the way over to a cowbell. So to me, you're sending your customers a very mixed message whenever they come to your page. So let's talk about pictures. I love these pictures right here, Robin. I think this really portrays vintage and old world, old school type tags, tea stained, coffee stain. I really like the look of these pictures. This here, if you're going to do that, I would probably retake these favor tags and make them cohesive. We want our shops to be easy on our customers' eye whenever they come to visit. We don't want to leave any guessing work for them whenever they come. Okay, so these pictures here are too busy. Like, I understand that you are selling this garland, but we've got a doily and we've got this fabric here. We've got feathers here. We've got books. Like, there's a basket. Everything is too busy. Like, we need to focus in on a neutral background. So either on a khaki or a wood table or white, something like that, and take all of this jazz out of here. Now, it's okay to be able to stage it on something. For instance, I haven't really got into talking about our keywords yet, but I'm assuming a lot of people are using like the beaded garlands like on trays, like farmhouse trays and whatnot. And I think you really need to take a visit at what the trend is right now and what would be appealing to your customer's eye whenever it comes to your page to be able to purchase this. So this is confusing to me as a customer. Like, I understand that you're doing this, but these pictures really honestly need to be retaken. There's just too much going on. And like the pink here with the red, this really clashes. It's not doing your product any justice. I think this picture here is okay, but there's still a lot going on. And to me, this fabric that you have here really affects all of your product that you're trying to sell. I just don't think that it really does your product any justice. I would, for one, like to see maybe more of this background because I think it's going to pop a lot better and it's also going to make your shop more cohesive. So that's one thing we don't want to do is leave our customers whenever they come here and they're looking at all of this and they're like, how does any of this relate with one another? So you've got the background here, you've got the background here and here, and then we get up to here. Like this, I'm not for sure, you know, what it is that you're trying to portray to your customers. So it looks like right now you're trying, I saw in the Facebook page, the past year at least, have only had a few sales and hardly no views. I changed my products. Okay, you changed your products. I can tell. Okay, I can tell that you're switching over. And that's fine to be able to switch over, but if you're wanting to do your vintage and like these are not reused, right? Like you're making them. So this no longer pertains. So your branding at this point needs a little bit of work to be able to portray what it is that you are doing. Your press and media area on here is nice. However, I think it could probably be taken out of here and put maybe down in your story. I haven't read your story yet, so maybe you have. But I think that's really cool. You said wood signs on Nickelodeon. Like, how awesome is that? And featured on destination weddings and honeymoon magazines. Like, where are those pictures at? Good Morning America, Cosmo Bride. Like, I want to see those pictures. And by looking at this, like I'm not seeing this one, this picture here isn't bad. And these here aren't bad, of course, but I'm not seeing like magazine quality pictures like what you're saying. So where is your proof of that? If you're going to say it, then we need to be able to see it. Okay? So it looks like you've got some good reviews here. And see, and what I'm seeing from this is you used to sell different items, which looked a lot more with your branding that you have in your banner to your page of what your sales are. See, that's rustic. This is rustic. This is rustic. How cute is that? So it looks like you definitely are redoing your product, but you haven't done anything to feature it like you have your old stuff. So as people come on here, they're going to be like, well, where is that? That's really cute. This is cute. You know, like, look at that. How adorable, right? So your reviews are good. Oh, goodness. Okay. So let's go down here to your about. You got your updates in. That's good. How it all began. You may wonder where we get this beautiful reclaimed wood. Okay. Very first sentence here, Robin, is the only reclaimed wood that I am seeing in your shop right now would be this. So you're saying all of this, like where is all of this? If you're not going to be selling that anymore, then you need to come in and redo all of this. If you're wanting to get more into, you know, the beads and whatnot, then you need to spend the time that you did with your signs and your rustic decor as, you know, with your other items now that you're going to be selling. Your pictures down here are just as important. So like this is blurry. We need to think light and bright whenever we're doing our pictures. I'm happy to announce that you can now check out our website that is specifically for barns and buildings that we dismantle. So this does not go with anything that you have on your page right now. I love that you have a picture of you. Okay, this is the type of picture. If this is yours, this is the type of picture that you need to have. Unorganized, dark. I'm not for sure if this is scrapbooking. You don't have any string art. Like this doesn't portray anything that's in your shop right now. I'm not saying it's not organized because goodness, I mean, you've got everything in here, but do you understand what I'm saying? Like this looks like it's just everything's just kind of put up on a shelf and you know, the picture's dark. Looks like it's in a closet somewhere. And then you get to this. This is gold. So I just really feel like you're just sending mixed messages to your customers because for one, we've got a cowbell going and then we've got rusty numbers here, which are super cute. I love that. And then there's like this. And it looks like these are stickers or something. I'm just not for sure. I love that you have a picture of yourself. You might want to try some lighter, brighter. Like, what are you doing right here? You know, like I get that this is you and I think that's wonderful, but what are you working on? Like, that's what I want to see. If you don't want to have like a full picture of yourself, that's totally fine. But what is it that you're working on right now? That we need to see your hands. That's why people come on to Etsy, right? Because they're here because something is handmade. We want to see your hands on the product that you're making. So make sure that your pictures are, you know, like if this is portraying because you're using book pages or, you know, whatever it is that you're using, that's fine. But let's see your hands holding a book. Shows that you're picking out paper. I think that's great. But this picture is still kind of blurry. And like, what's this up here? So our pictures on our about really need to portray what it is that we do, who it is that's making it. We need to have some good pictures. And then I know that you have your cowbell up there, but I just don't really feel like it's going with the direction that your page is. Or at least your pictures need to portray something different. Okay? So, I've already picked apart this, haven't I? Good grief. We also have photos of furniture that we make in reclaimed wood. So I'm not seeing any of this in your store, so this does not pertain to anything that your store is offering. I would take all of this out if you're not going to offer that to your customers. It's really misleading to them what it is that you do, or you need to add some of that product on here. So I think it's fine to probably take this and put it down at the bottom. But that doesn't need to be what you start out with, because you're telling everybody that you've got reclaimed wood and you're making furniture and you're doing all of this, but you're not portraying that in your Etsy. It's kind of misleading, I guess. So I would definitely take this part out, and then you could tell them if you would like to see other projects that we partake in, with the other side of our business, please visit. You could have your website and your Facebook group or whatever down at the bottom. But as of right, this needs to relate to your Etsy page. Okay, so how you got started. A few years ago, you found yourself in an unfamiliar territory, empty nest with free time that was mine and mine alone. What will I do now? It didn't take me long to figure out. Follow your dreams of pursuing art. Oh, that's cool. See, here you go again, reusing old and making it new. So your shop's really not portraying that. In my eyes, that's just my opinion. So you're talking about your old barnwood again. Or finding a 40-year-old atlas, like you don't have really anything with that. Metal pieces deep in the dirt, you don't have any of that. And then you're saying unique decor or wedding or special event, which is great, but nothing in here is saying that you're doing that. Unless it's, you're talking about your lace here. These are not old. You're making these by hand. Your feet sack things are really cool. And so that's definitely kind of reclaimed. But who is your target market for your product? I honestly don't know who it is by your pictures of what you're trying to portray or what you're what you're wanting to sell right now. So we've got vintage, we've got boho, we've got tags, we've got wedding, we've got feed sacks, we've got an unconventional wreath is what you're saying here. Florals, wedding, clothespins, and then one sign, okay? So your story doesn't even reflect what it is that's in your shop. So your story needs to talk about what it is that you're doing. I love what I do and so very pleased when I know that my art will be adorning a shelf. I don't see any kind of shelf sitters. Maybe your garlands would be a shelf. Christmas tree, if you have something in mind and don't see it here, don't hesitate to send me a message. And that's great, but what are they going to send you a message about, Robin? Like, I don't think they really even know what it is that you're truly making. So that's another thing. If you were going to be open for customs, then you need to have some custom type things that people can say, ooh, I wonder if she can make me that. So I'm not seeing a whole lot of customized pieces other than maybe something like this. But if this is repurposed, like, do you have more than one available? Like, that's what I'm seeing as a customer coming in here. So could Robin make me this in different colors if I wanted that? You know, are these the only type of feed sacks that are available? Okay. So let's just talk about these garlands. Okay, so beaded garlands are very hot right now. I haven't seen a ton that have had the colored beads on them. Definitely the wood beads are really hot right now, and that's what I always tell my customers is make sure that you know the trends that's happening right now. So you're on the right track with your beads. Are these vintage beads? Are they glass beads? So I'm going to go on ahead and just pick this one here. So like I said, your picture definitely is not doing this piece justice. You've got a beautiful pink stone here. So boho bead garland. Are people going to type that in? I'm not for sure. Pink boho decor. Bead garland with lace tassels. Farmhouse garland. This is definitely not farmhouse. Farmhouse is going to be your wood beads. Let me show you what I mean. Farmhouse garland. Okay, so they're white. They're wood. Do you see what I mean here? So we've got some wool. They're the big round beads whenever we type in farmhouse. Now, I'm not saying that you need to change your product to this, but what I'm telling you is your picture that you have there does not portray what farmhouse is. Vintage, maybe. Okay, so vintage garland. That's kind of whatever I think of when I think of vintage garland for like a Christmas tree or something like that. So what we're seeing is vintage patterns. We're seeing vintage paper banners or lace, flowers. So vintage might not be a good, a good one either. Boho. So you come up here and look for your tag words. So, or your keywords and your title, right? So boho bead garland. I don't really get boho from your picture. So once again, we're seeing a lot of wood. We're seeing a little bit more color, but still a lot of wood beads. That's really boho with the teal, and it's got a little bit of lace here. So really take a look. Like this picture is too busy right here. So that's what I'm saying. Like you need to really focus in on your product and what it is that you want to sell. So to me, this looks more to be a beaded garland would be a good one. Let's see if your pink boho decor. See, that doesn't even show up for a keyword. So that's not going to do you any good. Your first like 60 to 70 characters in your title here are going to be the most important. And of course we want to, add in the best ones that we can. Beaded, let's see, you have farmhouse garland does pop up. However, whenever I see this, I do not think farmhouse. Let's see, vintage garland pulls up. I would see this more for that. Lace garland. Lace garland pops up. Let's take this one step further. I just want to see, just because I'm familiar with farmhouse, I want to see if tiered tray, yes, tiered tray decor. You'll see a lot of people use beads on those tiered trays for farmhouse. So tiered tray decor. So see, you have like these beads that are in here. So I think, you know, you could use that. Lace, vintage, pink. All right. So you want to make sure that, oh, hold on. Let's go into your description now. Okay, I would like for you, and this is just my personal opinion, I think this is a lazy way to get your title words. We want to sprinkle them in our description. I don't ever like it whenever I see this because this is confusing for the customer. Remember, yes, we are sellers and we're trying to get in front of people, but then they come down here and they're like, well, what is this? Boho bead garland, pink boho decor, beaded garland with lace. Like, this doesn't fit into a description. Okay, we've already got our title here for Etsy. So what is something that you can do? So let's just take this out. I would take out your titles in the top. That's just my personal opinion. You can do what you want, but I would do more of a paragraph here. You probably at least need to have a good 2 to 3 paragraphs with this in there, sprinkling in whatever title words that you have. And then, yes, you want to be able to copy boho bead garland if that would fit in your keywords. Boho decor, oak garland. What is OOAK garland? What is that? Huh. I don't see you showing up in here. All right. Cool. So shabby, chic, lace tassels, pink boho decor. You might even be able to get into like a pink nursery decor, pink nursery garland. There's a pink nursery garden flag. You really don't have that. Pink nursery decor, that's on top. That would be something kind of cute sitting up on a shelf, or, you know, a little basket or something in a nursery. You could do something like that. So I think that this really needs a little bit of work. Upcycled acrylic beads. So what exactly does that mean? Like, have you cut these off of an old necklace? Like, that's where like, you need a story. Your product needs a story. And then to me, I mean, I'm not for sure that upcycled laces and fabric are a good selling point. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm not the right target market. But whenever I think of old lace, like, I would rather see vintage lace. I think that that is a lot more appealing than just upcycled. Like, to me, whenever I see upcycled, then I'm seeing like this yellow fabric here. Does that mean that it smells like it came out of a vintage antique store? You know, because sometimes those laces and stuff they don't smell real great. Can you tell I've been in a lot of antique stores? So that's where I'm going, like, is this going to smell bad whenever I get it? Was this on somebody's dress? So this needs a story. I need to know that you got this out of a local vintage thrift shop on a spool, and you cut these from a necklace. Or do you see where I'm going? Like, this needs a story. I need to know more about it. If you're selling it as upcycled, then we need to know exactly what it was and how you created it, and then have a picture that's going to be boom, that's going to fit with it as well. Okay? So you're saying that this exact garland is one of a kind. I think that's wonderful. Twine accent. Tassels are in whites and ivory. Lace. So you could probably put these in together. Tassel garland might be another one. Colorful bead, beaded garland. So you just want to make sure that once you figure out, I think you really need to go on and do some SEO search for these and retake your pictures and make your shop be more cohesive. And let's come down here. USA sign, Barnwood sign. I would probably make this here your main photo if it was me. This is a little bit dark, but not horrible. I think this is a little bit confusing to people. It doesn't really show a size. It doesn't really show... I really like this picture better, is my opinion. I can see it. I can see that it's a sign. USA, Barnwood sign, Americana, reclaimed wood, rustic sign, Independence Day, 4th of July sign is a keyword. Rustic 4th of July decor. We have to really stop and think about, like, are our customers really going to type in Independence Day when they're looking for a sign? I'm not for sure. It is a keyword in here. So you might want to add something to that. Or Independence Day decor shows up. Decorations. Door hanger. Is this for the porch? Hardware added. Okay, you have distressed in there. So we need a little bit more about the story of this. You talk about how you take apart barns. So this needs a story. Tell where the barn was taken down. Where did you get it? Like, what is this sign's story here? Where can people use it? Can they use it on their porch? Can they use it outside? Does it have a sealer put on it? Is the paint okay to be outside? To me, I think this would be super cute on a porch. Okay. A military family sign I think is okay. But to me, that would be more of something like a personalized sign, but maybe not. See, that's what I think whenever I think of military. I'm thinking like places that they've been, the military branch that they're in. That's kind of whatever I see or what I think of whenever I'm thinking of a military family sign. So what I'm seeing here, Robin, is I think you really need to stop and really honestly think about what it is that your customers are going to type in there. 4th of July sign. American flag sign. See, here's a whole bunch. Sign outdoors. Flag sign. So you really need to stop and think about what it is that your customer is going to be typing in there. Excuse me, I just sneezed. Okay, well, I hope that this was somewhat helpful to you, and thank you for allowing me to review your page. I hope I wasn't too harsh. I think you've got some really neat ideas, but I just think right now in the switch of your product, your store is a little bit confusing for those that are coming. So I would encourage retaking some pictures, working on those SEOs and your descriptions, and making your shop just a little bit more cohesive. If you're no longer doing the barnwood, then you need to take all of that stuff out. You're reclaimed, and this here doesn't really show what it is that you're selling in your store anymore. So I hope that helps a little bit. Thank you so much for allowing me to be able to do a critique and be able to teach others what their shops should look like. And hopefully you guys learned a little bit from it. So thank you so much, Robin. I really appreciate it.